Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our 2024 NABJ Candidates Forum. My name is Corey Atkinson, Chair of the NABJ Elections Committee. This forum is an opportunity for you all to learn more about our candidates and their platforms and vision for our organization. So we encourage you all to listen carefully, consider the issues, and make an informed decision when casting your vote. Before we get things started, we have a few key reminders. The forum is being live streamed and will be made available for members to access at their convenience. The seat up for election for the 2024-2026 NABJ Board of Directors are Vice President Print, Treasurer, Parliamentarian, Region 2 Director, Region 4 Director, Academic Rep, and Media-Related Rep. The Region 2 Director and academic representative seats are vacant. This means the NABJ President will fill these vacancies following the conclusion of the election process next month. Online voting begins on Monday, July 8th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time and ends on Friday, August the 2nd at 5 p.m. Central Time. In accordance with the NABJ Constitution, only those who are dues-paying members as of Saturday, June the 1st are eligible to vote. Each member will receive an email from our election ballot vendor with instructions on how to cast their ballots. Please note that academic members will not be able to vote since there is no candidate for the academic representative seat this year. Media-related professional members may vote for the media-related professional representative on the board of directors. And finally, student members who may only vote for the student rep on the board of directors are not eligible to vote this year because that seat is up for election this year. For more information on the elections process, please visit the election webpage on the NABJ website. With that said, I want to introduce our moderator, Kelsey Nelson, who is a reporter and host for Fox Sports. Kelsey is also a journalism lecturer at George Washington University and also vice president of the Washington Association of Black Journalists. Kelsey, take it away.
Thank you so much for that great insight you provided for us tonight. And again, just giving us a platform for us to be able to lead forward with. So again, I want to thank you to everyone on this call, all of our wonderful NABJ members, our NABJ family for joining us. And right before the holiday, we truly do appreciate your time. And once again, I want to welcome you all to the 2024 NABJ Candidates Forum. I'm very excited to moderate tonight's conversation and introduce you to all of these wonderful faces on screen, our wonderful slate of candidates in this hour that we have together tonight. This will be your chance to hear directly from all of these people and about the organization and some of the most pressing issues that you might have. And with that being said, I want to again send a friendly reminder that we do have a chat box available for all of you all to use throughout the night as we have a conversation. So please be sure to put any questions in that chat box. Again, tonight's conversation is truly inclusive of our membership. So we do want to hear from you. We will be talking with you and not at you. So if anything sparks your curiosity, again, please be sure to put it in the chat box. We're going to try to get to each and every question, or if you just want to hear more or want a candidate to follow up, again, the chat box will be your friend tonight. We want to ensure that each and every person's voice is heard. So to kick things off and to get things started, I'd like to acknowledge again the NABJ candidates who are running unopposed. Again, the candidates are running unopposed to make their opening statement. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to make their opening statement. And so without further ado, I'd like to introduce the first candidate that we'll hear from tonight, who is running for Vice President of Print in this next NABJ election year, Ms. Eva Coleman, who is a lifestyle and culture editor for iMessenger Media, LLC, based out of Dallas, Texas. So now I'll hand it over to Eva.
Thank you so much, Kelsey, and hello, NABJ. I'm Eva D. Coleman, and 25 years ago, Norma Adams Wade, a founder of the National Association of Black Journalists, proudly stood in a Dallas-Fort Worth Association of Black Communicators meeting and nominated me for president of that local chapter. And to this day, I call her my Mama J, and the J stands for journalism. That's something that I don't take lightly. And I understand the seriousness of serving in any capacity when you're serving in the name of NABJ. As Kelsey mentioned, I'm the lifestyle and culture editor for Texas Metro News, iMessenger, and the Garland Journal in Dallas, Texas. We are proud members of the Black press. And that is one of the key platforms, that a key portion of my platform is strengthening ties and opportunities in the Black press. With NABJ, I've served in numerous capacities, again, as a local chapter leader, as a regional leader. I served as a deputy director under 3 different regional directors. I served on our high school J-Shop committee for many, many years. I'm in my 2nd term as regional director, 2nd elected term as regional director for 3 the Hard Way Region 3. And I also have chaired 2 national conventions. 2018 in Detroit, I chaired that convention, and I co-chaired the convention in Miami in 2019. NABJ is the lifeblood for so many members throughout the country. And I feel that it's time for me to step on up into the role to support and be laser focused on our print members. I appreciate your support. And although I'm running unopposed, I cannot stress enough that every election is important. Please vote Eva Coleman for VP Print.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Eva, for giving us your opening statement. And next, I would like to introduce the candidate running for treasurer for NABJ, Ms. Jasmine Stiles, who currently is an anchor at EW Scripps, WCPO 9 News, based out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Jasmine, the floor is now yours.
Good evening, everybody. As Kelsey said, my name is Jasmine Stiles. I've been an NABJ baby for at least, I think, 12 or 13 years now. And it has been a pleasure to be appointed to serve the NABJ board and the organization as its treasurer. I am running for re-election because per the rules, you're only appointed for a year and then you must run for the rest of your term that you'd like. So that's what I'm here doing. I have enjoyed my time thus far. I have learned so much, and being in touch with so many of the former treasurers, some of the legends of NABJ, like Jackie Green, I talked to today, Rodney Brooks, those types of people. It's been an amazing way to see exactly where the organization was, where we are now, and where we're headed. And a lot of these people who I still keep in contact with, who absolutely do not have to lend their talents to NABJ, have been more than welcoming to give me advice and help me when I have any questions. And that has been very important to me within my term, that I always reach back and see if there's any ways that maybe we can incorporate things that we've done previously that maybe we didn't do now or that we phased out, and make sure that's a way to kind of pave the way in which we're going. So although I am a journalist, I have done some number of stuff, and I feel very up to task for the job. I'm excited to, again, have another chance to be on this board as I'm running unopposed. But I'm just here to ensure the fidelity of the organization and make sure that as NABJ grows, that our money grows as well and that we are financially stable. So again, as I said, I am running unopposed, but I hope you still, you don't have to, you can still vote for me. Thank you. That's it, Kelsey.
Thanks, Jasmine. And next, I am happy to introduce our next candidate, again, running for our NABJ board for the position of parliamentarian, Ms. Sia New Yorker, who is currently an anchor and MMJ reporter at WOIO TV, based out of Cleveland, Ohio. I will now give the floor to Sia.
Thank you so much, Kelsey. Hello, NABJ family. I'm Sia New Yorker, and I'm running for parliamentarian of the NABJ Board of Directors. I currently serve as parliamentarian. Prior to that, I was Region 2 Director. I was called to serve and appointed in that position by former President Sarah Glover, and I served under former President, Madam President Dorothy Tucker. It has been my honor and my pleasure to serve in this way. Prior to joining the Board of Directors, I was just a hardworking member who volunteered and loved being around all of the NABJ family. I worked on a number of committees. Salute to Excellence Chair. I was also a NABJ student projects mentor. I've worked extensively with our founders on the 50th anniversary committee, and just in a number of different ways have served whenever I was called to do so. It's been my pleasure to help start chapters, help get chapters in compliance, answer any questions that our members may have. And I look forward to serving again in this capacity. And I thank you and ask you for your vote for me as parliamentarian. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sia. And to keep things rolling, I am now again just going to give another announcement that the Region 2 director is vacant, so we will not hear from anyone tonight. But keeping things moving along, we will now hear from the candidate running for Region 4 director, Mr. Aaron Day, who is currently a news producer for Fox Television based out of Los Angeles, California. Aaron, the floor is yours.
Hi everyone. How are you doing this evening or afternoon if you're out west? Look, I'll be the first to admit that I would have never thought I'd be here today. Some 20 plus years ago, I got my first job in TV news through NABJ at a job fair here in LA. From LA, I went to San Diego, then Seattle, and NABJ has provided me with mentors and resources along the way. All I know is Region 4. I've started my career out west. I'm still out west, and I plan to stay out west. So it's really important for me to give back to the region. It's such a big area that has a need for support, and I'm really excited to find out what the needs are. What do the members need from the organization? I've been in leadership before. I've been a chapter VP. I was VP in Seattle for the Seattle chapter. I was a longtime member in San Diego for the San Diego chapter. I was a member of the LA chapter. I'm the current chair of the Black Male Media Project that produces webinars and programs for Black men who are in journalism and who are aspiring to be journalists. So I'm very involved with NABJ on many levels, and I'm just excited to figure this thing out. I don't, I'm going to be learning along the way, just like many of you have before you got into your roles. But being a board member is not new to me. I'm also a board member of SPJ LA. Here in Los Angeles. I've been on other boards in the past as well, College Media Association, through one of the schools where I taught classes. So I'm looking forward to hearing what questions you have for me. I'm looking forward to addressing whatever concerns you may have.
And Aaron, I'm so sorry to cut in, but we do have you at time. But again, thank you so much again for a great opening statement. And now we have heard from all of our candidates who again are running uncontested. So it's now move over to the contested portion of today's conversation for opening statements. And again, as a reminder to all of our listening audience that you will not hear from an academic representative because currently that seat is vacant with no one running. So to introduce our media-related representatives, I now would like to introduce Ms. Gael Jill, who is a Strategic Communications Associate at AHRC Nassau out of Brookville, New York. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Kelsey. Like she said, my name is Gael Jill. I work as a Communications Associate in Brookville. I decided to pursue this candidacy because in my role, I've seen that there's a lot of opportunity in media-related professions for people. A lot of my colleagues are journalists. And what I've noticed in my role was that when I'm going to, webinars and meetings, there's not a lot of people who look like me. And there's so much space, so much opportunity, especially when I'm working one of those fun social media jobs, if you know about. There's so much opportunity for us to tell stories of these companies, to show up as ourselves and just do great work. And I wanted to come here to help build out the community of media-related professionals, show them that they don't have to be afraid to, be themselves, seek opportunities in different sectors, many different sectors. In my experience, I've worked in government, I've worked with businesses in a freelance capacity, I've worked in medicine. It's really fun. There's a lot of opportunity, and I'm really just asking for your vote for an opportunity to be a leader and a resource to those who want to pursue media-related professions everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gael, for that. And now we will hear from our last member running for media-related representative, Ms. Rashonda Hall, who is currently the president and founder of Social Pearls, LLC, based out of South Holland, Illinois. Rashonda, the floor is now yours.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Well, I am so excited to be here and to talk to everyone who has joined us. Thank you guys for giving us a piece of your evening today. I currently have the privilege of serving as media-related rep. And then the initial, these past 2 years, I have learned so much. I've been a member of NABJ, or initially joined NABJ in 2004. So it's been literally 20 years. And in that 20 years, you think you know a lot about an organization, and you just don't know how much you don't know until you join the board. But it's really been an honor to be able to serve our members on the board in a way that I have been able to try to focus on fostering collaboration, connecting with members across all 4 regions, and helping to bring value to their membership. And that's really what I'm looking to do in the next 2 years, is really to build on the work that we've been able to do, to have another media institute, which we hadn't had in 10 years, and to really continue to see our members get opportunities to connect across the organization in their local chapters and at the national level as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rashonda, for that. And thank you to all of our candidates for giving great opening statements. We're now going to shift over to the general questions part of our platform. Just to our listening audience, all candidates will have 2 minutes to answer any question that comes out for the general section. Again, we want you to please use the chat box. So friendly reminder, please, any questions that you might have, again, please put them in throughout the night. And candidates will also have 1 minute to rebut. So the first question I want to ask every candidate for tonight are, what are 2 key issues facing NABJ members today, and what specific plans do you have to address them? And so I'm going to switch up the order now this time, and I'm going to go to who's next to me, and I'm going to start with Aaron.
You said 2 key issues, right?
Yep, 2 key issues, yep, facing NABJ members today.
Well, one issue that I think is facing NABJ is, the student journalists. I really want to do and see more. How can we foster that group? How can we foster that community? How can we grow the number of student chapters? I've taught at multiple schools up and down the West Coast, and there are Black students interested in journalism, but they're discouraged for a number of reasons. And so I'd love to see programs and resources and conversations we can have to help them and help them grow and find them work. So that's one issue. Another key issue is just a sense of community. And I'm speaking for Region 4 in particular. There are about 8 chapters, professional chapters in the region. We just added Sacramento to the list, but there are other states where there's 0 representation. And for, Idaho, Hawaii, Wyoming, I mean, there are a lot, Montana. So are there any Black journalists in those states? I think there's at least one. I mean, so how can we become more tight-knit? How can we support one another rather than just having all of the membership focused on so few states in our region?
Thank you, Aaron. And next I will go to Eva. And Eva, just reminding the question, what are 2 key issues facing NABJ members today, and what specific plans do you have to address them?
Thank you for that, Kelsey. I think 2 key issues facing our members is the wherewithal to self-advocate in their jobs and in their roles. I think that many face issues and don't know how to address them or how to properly address them. I've been on so many advocacy calls and so many advocacy meetings as a board member for NABJ. But also, I first start with the member themselves, getting them to understand the appropriate steps to take in addressing things in the workplace or even with their own companies. And so it's so much bigger than working for someone, but it's also how to navigate your own company as well. And so I think that whole advocacy piece is one of the issues or concerns. Another piece I feel is just taking care of your mental health is so important, and we have so many people who are drowning and not understanding the amount of resources that are available to them. And so my goal is to make sure that they are aware of every single resource available. There are many available through this organization. I am happy to have championed and spearheaded the creation of the NABJ Wellness Task Force. And it's a new task force that's really bringing and delivering many resources and opportunities for members to stabilize themselves as they continue to do the work that we all love.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Eva, for that. And next, I will head over to Jasmine. Again, same question. What are 2 key issues facing NABJ members today? And what specific plans do you have to address them?
So being the treasurer, I think the first thing I have to talk is money. And I feel like, as someone who has experienced this myself, is probably the cost of convention. Convention, as we all know, as an NABJ member, is probably one of the most important events that you can go to. You can find jobs, you can network. I've received 2 jobs from NABJ, and we have noticed the need because of hardship grants that NABJ has put out. Just seeing the sheer number of people that really need that help right now when the industry is in a really wonky place. And then not only that, we actually did put out a essentially like a scholarship for students to get to the convention, as well as mid-career journalists. And just the sheer amount of applications we've gotten shows the need. And so I think that's very important as NABJ is looking toward the future of where we're going to put these conventions. One of the largest convention we had, Birmingham, out of all places, was probably so successful because it was such an easier way to go on the wallet versus Vegas the year before, where most of us, at least in my case, paid half of what we were paying for Vegas for Birmingham. So we're continuing to look at ways of maximizing grant scholarships and finding sponsors to help lessen those costs on our membership, particularly the people within the membership who are really struggling at this point. And then the second thing I would say that's probably an issue that several NABJ folks are facing, again, with the industry being the way it is, layoffs happening, it seems like almost every week, is finding ways and almost like in a webinar or classes or just some type of educational tools to help people pivot. I know that not every journalist is ready to go to what we on the broadcast side refer to as the dark side, which is PR. Nothing wrong with that. Down for my PR people, love y'all. But for people who still want to stay in the industry, but maybe aren't having the luck they want within maybe broadcast or print or whatever, there are ways that we can still do what we do in a different sphere. In our last strategy plan that we had for NABJ.
Jasmine, I'm so sorry to cut into you, but we are at our 2 minutes. But again, I thank you so much for addressing very important issues to so many of our members. Next, I want to hand it off to Sia to, again, same question. What are 2 key issues facing NABJ members today, and what specific plans do you have to address them? Sia, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Kelsey. I think 2 key issues that need to be talked about is the pay equity issue. There's a disparity. We need to have transparency when we are negotiating for these jobs. Oftentimes the information is hidden from us, and we're seeing a lot of our members and people that look like us underpaid, undervalued, overworked. I think that there needs to be some kind of network. I know that in several of the groups that I help lead on Facebook, we have salary spreadsheets, but I think that that would be something that needs to be addressed and better organized so that our members can really get the money and the job and all of the benefits that they deserve. I also think another key issue facing us are Blacks in management. while there are many of us in front of the cameras or on the street, on the ground, going door to door, on the digital side, we need to see us in management making those editorial decisions. And everyone knows in all the newsrooms, whether you work in TV or you work digital, you work print, that's where the decisions are made, and that's how we decide who and what covers our communities. And so when there needs to be more discussion about getting all of us in management and having better representation there. Thank you.
Thank you, Sia. We'll now hear from our contested race candidates for the media-related representative role. And I will first start with Rashonda to answer the same general question. Again, what are 2 key issues facing members today, and what would you do to address them?
Yeah, thanks for asking the question. 2 issues that I really think our members are paying a lot of attention to now are really AI and its impact on their jobs and the ability for them to, embrace it. Where do they go with it? How can they use it responsibly? And secondly, really is the need to diversify their streams of income. I think that's similar to what you've heard both Sia and even others and Jasmine talk about. And during my term, I've worked on programming and bringing program to the table that speaks about both of those issues. I'm bringing programming at the Innovation Lab this year that will talk about tips and tools that you can use that are AI related, that can help your job, that can help you in your day-to-day activities. And then in supporting the entrepreneurial task force, I'm also working on programming that talks about how do you pivot and freelance and things that you need to know. So not necessarily pivoting out of journalism into the lucrative side, the communication side, but to leveraging the skills that you have to bring in income when you want to supplement what is happening or be prepared for a shift that either comes voluntarily or through an employer-based decision. Those are 2 issues that I think are important to our members, and that's how I would look at addressing those.
Thank you, Rashonda. And last, but certainly not least, we will now hear from Gael. Floor is yours.
I think just 2 opportunities for us to, grow with this association is providing for our community. We have such a vast network of talented individuals. There is opportunity for us to do more trainings, to, do more webinars and stuff like that, because so that our members feel like they do have the opportunity to negotiate salaries, that they have the skills needed to leverage their role in themselves as professionals in their fields. And I also think we have an opportunity to, we have an opportunity to encourage an attitude of sharing our failures, our successes, our doubts, and opportunities, so that we can reduce the need of gatekeeping in our communities. Because once, if one person knows and shares what their experience, then the whole community knows, and we can be better in our jobs and be better with others. So I think just reducing that gatekeeping spirit, it prevents us from thinking that we don't have these dream jobs accessible to us. So I think that those are just 2 opportunities for us to, to grow with the association.
Thank you so much, Gail, for that. And we're going to move to another general question. Again, it will be a random order for our uncontested candidates as well as our contested candidates. As we see tonight, there are not a lot of people on this screen. So we know there have been many races that are uncontested, and I know we'd love more faces on the screen and more people getting involved. So the question is, what should NABJ do to get more members to step up and serve in these leadership positions so that not as many races are uncontested year after year? And to start off this question, I will hand the floor over to Sia.
I'm so glad you asked me this question. Personally, listen, I was voluntold. I was asked to serve. I was serving as a hardworking member, sitting on committees for more than 21 years now. I've been an NABJ member, and somebody plucked me and told me, Sia, I want you to do this. This is what I want. This is what I need you to do. And when you're called to serve, when you're called to lead, you do it and you feel a sense of responsibility. And so I know that in our NABJ trainings, we've talked about succession planning and identifying people who are doing good work. I try to reach out to people, some of the younger students and young journalists that I mentor, and tell them when they're doing something great and ask them to serve in a capacity. But I think it starts there, the community, talking with people, giving people projects, identifying their strengths. That's how you build leadership, and that's how you build people that are going to serve this organization. And so that's what you do. When you're called to serve, you do that. And so I think more of that would help us have better representation and a more diverse candidates when we're running for elections.
Thank you, Sia. And a reminder again to all of our candidates, the question is about service and leadership and how can we get more of our NABJ members to step up and serve in these positions and obviously run in these races so we have more candidates to choose from for all of our members. So next, I'm going to hand it off to Aaron.
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. It's a tough question too. It's NABJ is an amazing organization that does a lot of amazing things, and I've benefited from my participation, my involvement, and all the time, whenever I get a chance to meet someone African American in the industry, I ask, "Are you a member of NABJ?" And I tell my story. I talk about my first job fair. I talk about the conventions. I talk about the Black Male Media Project. So I just think the more that we share our own personal stories and just ask, I'm very upfront and say, hey, are you a member? Come join. How can I help you? So I think the more that we demonstrate the benefits, visible, tangible benefits of joining, perhaps the more members we'll get. I'm an adjunct at one of the colleges here in Southern California, and I taught a course last semester, and the student chapter was pretty much non-existent. So I gathered up all the Black students in the department, and the department paid their membership, and now we have at least a dozen Black new members of NABJ at the college. So it might be just as simple as asking, sharing your story, and letting people know what we're about. Now, we know NABJ is very political. People have different experiences, and we can't control that. But the more that we share our personal stories, the more we just reach out, I think that could go a long way for some people.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Aaron, for your candidness. Next, I'm going to hand it over to Jasmine. Once again, what can NABJ do to make sure that we get more members involved and running for these elections and stepping up to service? Jasmine, the floor is now yours.
Right. So as a member, I know being that person myself, I used to say, man, I wish NABJ would do this. And I wish NABJ would do that. And then when you get into the inner workings, you go, I had no idea. I need to shut up. And maybe I need to see the inner workings. And I think a way that we could get people to kind of get that inside look is by increasing incentives to volunteer. Convention is wild to watch how it gets done and how it gets put on. And for as many critiques as I'm sure everyone has of the convention, watching it happen from scratch to a full-blown idea is amazing. And I think if people were kind of in tune with some of the events and larger events that NABJ puts on, that would maybe push them to serve. Another thing I think, as Sia kind of talked about, is identifying those bright young leaders and figuring out where can we use your talents within NABJ and grooming them as such. Sometimes leadership is not an option. It just needs to happen. And for NABJ to continue to be the success it is, we cannot keep having the same people in leadership positions because they'll burn out. In the same way that you could say, if those same people are in those positions and you as a member are not happy with how NABJ is going, it will never change because it's going to be the same type of folks. Diversifying is just as important on like a race side as we talk about for corporations as it is for NABJ within the organization. So finding those people who have different thought process, come from different backgrounds, and putting them onto boards and committees and finding ways for them to serve, I think could be all that needs to happen for them to make the difference, because NABJ is an organization that belongs to the members, not the board.
Thank you, Jasmine. And we will now hear from our last uncontested member for the same question, Ms. Eva Coleman. Floor is yours.
Thank you, Kelsey. I'd first like to say that in addition to being nominated by a founder to serve on the local level as president of the Dallas-Fort Worth chapter, one of my other proudest moments in NABJ came when former President Sarah Glover appointed me as National Convention Chair. I'm so grateful to her for that opportunity, because it allowed me the chance to work with the national office and see what the staff does and work in coordinating and putting on the effort, which is our biggest event, which is our national convention. But I think for many was a lesser known person. And I thought that it was such a smart and wise move, because it's like, who is this Eva Coleman? We have several people around the country where people would say, who is this person? But when you put them in position, they will shine and they will serve this organization like they didn't even know they could do. And so finding those individuals who never would have been asked and asking them is key. I also feel it's important to start with the very young. As regional director, I've brought on over a dozen student chapters across my region in Region 3. And with the student chapters, I require them to meet with me before I even write a letter of recommendation. And I do that because I want to stress to them and let them know that NABJ is not a social club. It is a service organization. We are not a social club. And we all know we have several members that will show up for the drinks and appetizers and the party. But when it comes time to doing the real work, the rooms are somewhat empty. And so we need to make sure that we stress service, stress all of the things and the inner workings of the organization and the availability of opportunities to our members.
Thank you, Eva. And again, I am seeing lots of reaction throughout while everyone is talking. So reminder to everyone tuning in tonight, please, if you think of questions, please put them in the chat box, because after this question, we'll be switching over to specific candidate related questions. So if there's anything you want to follow up on, again, this is the time to be thinking about it. And again, please use our chat box. So now to head back over to our contested race, which I think this is a perfect question for media related representative. I will first start with you, Gael. Again, your answer to this question of what can we do to have more members step up to serve and to lead for NABJ?
NABJ is a massive organization buoyed by a network of local organization chapters. So I think let's, increase our culture. Let's build out our community. Let's tap into these network of chapters to highlight the members so that they know that they have the opportunity to serve on the board. I think if we give them a chance to shine by highlighting them, maybe through member highlights or just showing the great work that they're doing in their communities, they can know that they have a say in the role that we're playing on a national level. And NABJ has been an organization that I've been wanting to be part of for a long time. And I'm just really happy to be amongst you all and going for this candidacy. And I think that there's so many other people just like me who are eager to participate, who are eager to step in. I've had to learn from my experience that just showing up and showing out is the best way to get through any feelings of inadequacy or imposter syndrome. We are all capable. We are all have something to share. And I think that by building out our community and highlighting people in our different chapters, we can get a lot more people through the door.
Thank you, Gael. And Rashonda, I'm going to allow you to take us home for this one. Again, all about service and getting members to step up so we have more contested races, much like the one that you're currently in for media-related representative. Floor is now yours.
Yeah, thank you so much again. One of the things that there's two things that I think that we need to consider or think about. As having had the opportunity to serve on many boards, I know that there's a little bit of a different structure in some instances. So we may want to consider a structure that allows people to come in at a lower level and learn for multiple years, whether that is a junior board or like second, third, vice president, so that they spend a year in that term and learn, and then they step up and they learn more, and then they naturally roll right into these executive level board roles where they can feel like they've had a chance to learn. So that will challenge some of that imposter syndrome that may be holding people back. And then secondly, I agree with everyone that we really have to go in and pluck folks who are doing great work at the chapter level. And that, that is something that I was able to do during this first term and would like to do more, was reach out to chapter presidents and say, can you give me the names of 2 or 3 sometimes these are what they call board members at large in your local market who are doing great work to support the chapter, that are members of national or may not have become a member of national, but we can encourage them to do so, and then ask them to step into roles like being part of our awards programming or judging, or any of the other opportunities where they can volunteer kind of behind the scenes and learn a bit. So again, plucking the net, working with local chapters to find leaders who have supported them on the local level, and then pulling them into national opportunities. That's one of the ways I think that we can increase folks stepping up and being more involved in some of our national candidate opportunities.
Awesome. Thank you, Rashonda. All right. As aforementioned, we will now switch over to specific candidate related questions. Once again, I will start with the uncontested candidates and then move over to our contested race. So first off, I want to start with you, Eva, running for Vice President of Print. The question is, and this is a question I think we hear a lot from our members, but how do you plan to increase the visibility and impact of NABJ's print members in the broader journalism community?
Thank you for that question, Kelsey. And I really feel like it's making sure that I'm in touch with them. I'm a touch point. I actually oftentimes see myself as the plug, and making sure that I'm the connector and addressing their needs. And so in order to do that, I have to find out definitely what their needs are. I have to speak to people. I have to go to places. I have to visit with people, visit with leaders. But most importantly, I feel my role is to help in the evolution of print members, help in the evolution of their abilities, help in the evolution of the places that they work and spend their time, but making sure that, I call it News Transformers Unite, because we have so many print publications and entities throughout the country who have evolved in amazing ways. And partnering those entities up so that they can be mentors to others would be great. But making sure that our members have the skills that they need in the evolution. I'm not a fan of sit and get type of trainings. I'm a fan of hands-on opportunities, hands-on solutions to help members solve those issues and needs that they have when they are out telling the stories in our communities. And so providing those type of opportunities and trainings are going to be essential. And, just making sure that I'm in touch with them. I work in the press, in the print press. The written word is the basis for everything that we do. And I also notice that there are times when I see things that I'm appalled by, because so many things are accepted and it's mediocre work. And so I have to bring that accountability back and ensure that we are doing the right thing and the best thing at all times.
Thank you, Eva. All right, next we are going to move on to a big one, money. And we know NABJ needs it to keep things moving. So excited now to once again introduce our treasurer candidate, Jasmine. And Jasmine, the question for you is, what specific strategies would you implement to help increase NABJ's revenue and financial stability?
Thank you for that question. So in case anyone ever wondered, the biggest source of revenue for NABJ is our conventions. We do millions of dollars worth of revenue and expenses for convention. And that has been a topic that has been brought up because if for whatever reason NABJ members decide, I'm good on convention, I don't want to go, that is really going to be a deficit for the organization. So those types of plans have been in place or have been talked about at least. I unfortunately am not allowed to share them because I signed a lovely NDA that I cannot break to talk about the ways that we can bring more money into the fold. But I think the easiest way that I can talk about is fundraising and sponsorship. We have tried to make it as easy as possible for people to now donate to NABJ. If you have not looked before online, there is a lovely donation tool. So now we don't have to worry about so-and-so telling me to tell them to tell someone else that AJC gave us money or whatever. We can now put that directly into our pot or into our task forces pot, depending on who's giving the donation or sponsorship and things like that. But I think another way to easily increase money is membership. Members hold clearly a very special place within NABJ. And at last check, our biggest growing population was students. And so I think we really need to hone in on students and get those kids into the fold, not only for the sake of the organization, but the sake of journalism in general. That's what NABJ is here to do. We're here to serve and we're here to educate. And so I think that is probably one of the easier ways that we can really do our part to garner more money for the organization and make sure that our financials stay in shape from here on out.
Always good news to hear. So look forward to the long-standing financial stability of the organization. Thank you, Jasmine. All right, our next question is going to go to our parliamentarian candidate, Sia. And the question for you is, how would you address the various challenges affecting NABJ through your role as parliamentarian?
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Yep, no problem. The question is, how would you address the various challenges affecting NABJ through your role as parliamentarian?
Thank you so much for that question. Yes, NABJ has, we're an organization where the membership is really, the lifeblood of everything that we do. And we have multiple chapters all over the country. And we really work hard to really retain our students and build community there. But with that, we need to be in compliance. And so we have a lot of our chapters, particularly during COVID, where some of the students or the professors or the representatives were not in the buildings and stuff. And so there were challenges in getting some of the chapters back in compliance. And so I've been working with the regional directors as a former regional director to help clean some of that up, because when you're not in compliance, then you don't get all the benefits of your membership, including discounts to the convention and some of the webinars and some of the trainings. And so that's one of the challenges that I've been working with some of our local chapters and some of our regional directors to get some of that in order so that we can have a more streamlined process and so that everyone can benefit from NABJ.
Thank you so much, Sia. And now to hand things over again to our contested race for media-related representative, and either candidate can answer the question first. The question is simple. Why are you the better candidate for the role?
I like to think that I'm a great candidate for the role because I'm a fresh face. The media landscape is changing. These roles are evolving. These teams are growing. And there is a lot of opportunity for our members, not only for people to join the organization with those PR dollars that people may call them dark, but the company will pay for you to join this organization. They will pay for you to go to the convention. They will pay for your professional growth. So I think there's a lot that I can share with the community, just to let them know that their talents are valued, that their talents are needed, and that they need more people like us all over this industry. There's a serious lack.
Thank you, Gael. Rashonda?
Yeah, thank you. I think that I'm the better candidate for the position. One, because I bring a 20 years of NABJ experience. I am a fresh face in that I have transitioned from working corporate to now being an entrepreneur and owning my own business, which mirrors what we see with a lot of our media related members. So while I might not have the financing of a big company, I know what it's like to make that investment to be part of NABJ out of my own pocket, right? Social Pearls is paying for me to be here, but I am Social Pearls. And one of the things that I am doing in the role and that I can do and bring to the role is the ability to work very collaboratively with all of these folks that are on this panel today that will represent your next board of directors. I either have worked with many of them in the past directly or on committees that they have worked on, and I am I'm a proven sound a person who's able to bring and contribute valuable insights and to give the board ways to look at things in a different way that makes them approach it and value our members, our media related members in a way that makes their membership mutually that makes their membership more valuable, and that I am constantly looking for ways to elevate our media related members and to work both at the local level with local chapters who are the backbone of the national organization and with the national organization. In my personal role, in my personal job role, I'm looking at the future. I'm bringing that to my clients that I work with, and I see NABJ as a client. So I am focused on what the future of communications looks like and how we embrace that to move messaging forward. And for NABJ, that's not only the organization, but for the members and their professional development skills. So I bring all of that to the table.
Thank you so much for that. And again, sorry to have to cut you off, but you are at time. And I did not want Aaron to think that I had forgotten. So I do want to make sure that we have a chance to hear from him as well, again, for our candidate specific questions. And so Aaron, the question for you as a candidate for Region 4 Director, how do you plan to increase membership and participation within NABJ activities in your region? The floor is now yours.
Well, fortunately, I've been able to work up and down the West Coast. And so I just call people, emails, phone calls, visits. The good thing about flying to some of these locations, it's a short plane ride or a drive up the coast or up the highway. So I plan to do a lot of outreach, phone calls, visiting, meetings, virtual meetings as well. I know Region 4 hasn't had a regional conference in quite a while, is from my understanding. So I think it's time to do that. I think it's time to bring the chapters together for some professional development and also for some networking time as well. So all of those things combined, I think will generate some interest, some energy, some passion. Someone else spoke about the students. I think the students is a great place to start as well. We have some really good programs out west. The Cronkite School, we have the Murrow School out in Washington State. We have Annenberg. There's a lot of good schools out west that have students who are Black who are probably just wondering what's next for them, and I think NABJ could be a part of their experience. So that's kind of what I'm looking at to do to build some interest.
Thank you, Aaron. I think you have all of us interested now in going to a Region 4 event. So excited to see you build that out. And again, I want to give a chance. I know we are nearing time, but I do want to give a chance to any of the audience members if they have any questions. Once again, our chat box is open. So I want to give that. And then we will close out with closing statements. Then you'll hear quickly from me and Corey. So again, if you have any question, please put them in the chat box. And it looks like we do have a question in. The question is, as a former broadcaster turned media related related membership. I have seen some members lack energy and motivation after busy job schedules, which I'm sure everyone on this call can relate to. What strategies would you push for us to get and retain the members we need for the funding and the service we need within NABJ? So I will open it up to, again, any member that would like to address that question, and let me know if you need me to repeat.
I'm happy to talk about that because I, as a media related rep and an entrepreneur, this absolutely hits home because I know that, I can't rely on, just being able to borrow a few hours on the clock. If I'm not doing billable hours, I'm not being paid, right? So all the hours that I give to NABJ in my mind are even more valuable, from my own personal standpoint. And one of the things that I can think about in terms of really engaging members is meeting them where they are. Some members can't give you 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, but if you call them and say, hey, look, if I send you this social media post, will you share it? Yes, they're willing to do that. And so to me, that is one way to really engage members, is to meet them where they are. Ask them what they think they can do for you, what wouldn't be too much of a burden of a lift, and then meet them there.
Awesome. Thank you. And again, I want to thank Vivian King for that question. Another question we have, this one is from Gerard Henderson. And this again is for any candidate to answer. What do you think the greatest weakness of NABJ is? And what is one idea you'd propose to solve it? Again, any candidate can answer the question.
I believe that another opportunity is for us to just increase that sense of community, making sure that people know that their voices are heard and that they're valued, and that they shouldn't be afraid to speak their mind, voice any issues they see and any changes they would like in the association. This is something that's good. This is an association that's going to grow because of the members, and if we're going to be the best we can be in the future, we need these new voices to know that they can chime in anytime and share their concerns. So I think just fostering that sense of community, openness, like I said prior, just reducing the gatekeeping in the association, just making sure that everyone knows that this is their association, and if any changes they want to see, we should be willing to hear and address whatever their needs are.
Thank you, Gael. And our last question we'll take from the audience comes from Larry Wallace. The question is, how can we make sure the convention is more targeted towards students? As we all know, there's been a lot of conversation about targeting student members on this call tonight. He added, oftentimes it seems like it's targeted toward people already in the field. Once again, any candidate can answer this question.
I can take that one. Well, first of all, I just want to compliment our wonderful student rep Grant, who has been so very hands-on in making sure that students are a part of the conversation when we talk about the growth of NABJ. Again, we have an entire strategy plan from 2017 to 2020, and again, students are a big part of that. I think what could also help is to reach out to our sponsors to help them kind of find ways to include students. For example, I used to work the Tegna booth faithfully when I first started. And the thing that I used to get really sick of is, as a student, I would go to these job fairs and they'd go, yeah, kid, next time, and shove me over to some random person who didn't really care to talk to me. And at that point in time, I went to the HR person. I said, hey, I think we should have literally a student section where they can go and talk to somebody without feeling like they're wasting the time of the recruiters who are looking for more seasoned talent. So I think that could also be something that we do a better job of communicating to our sponsors. It's telling that, hey, this is an upcoming group within the NABJ sphere. They're a larger number. These are people who you really want to target right now, and finding ways that we can use their space, their booth space, their sponsorship space when it comes to like webinars or convention workshops, things like that, and finding those ways that we can align them to students, like almost like kind of forcing the issue, because sometimes we can't leave people to their own devices.
Thank you, Jasmine. And once again, thank you to each and every person that asked a question from the audience. Once again, this is a forum for all of us and all of our members. And thank you to all of the candidates again for their time in answering those questions. We've now moved to that part in the program where it's now time for closing statements. And you will all get a minute each again for a closing statement. And I will just do a random order, and I will start with you, Gael.
Thank you, Kelsey. Like I said, it's been really a joy being a part of this group of professionals excelling in our Black jobs. I'm really happy to be a candidate for this position because, like I said, there is a lot of opportunity in media-related roles. I don't see myself enough in the spaces that I'm in. And this is why I just want to make sure that people know that there's so much opportunity in different sectors, either outside or after journalism, for them to excel, have wonderful jobs, and keep pursuing that passion that led them to that newsroom in the first place. Thank you for having me, and I'm humbly asking for your vote.
Thank you so much, Gael. I will next move on to Sia.
Thank you so much. It has been an honor serving on the NABJ Board of Directors. I love my NABJ family, those near and far, and I love serving in different capacities. I love doing the committee work and really talking with all of our members. And so I ask for your vote as parliamentarian, and I vow to be the best advocate and voice I can to make sure that things are running smoothly. Thank you.
Thank you, Sia. Jasmine?
I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for taking the time out of your very, very busy schedules to come listen to us yap about why we should be your chosen candidate for this next race. As I said, I was appointed. I've had a great year on the board. I've learned so much, and I'd like to continue in that capacity. Again, talking to past treasurers. I had a great predecessor in Walter who has been helping me every step of the way, and using their knowledge to set new protocols and find better ways to do things, including making us more money, which makes us viable for the next generation of journalists. So all that said, again, I thank you for your time. Thank you, Kelsey, for moderating, and please go vote. That's all we can ask you to do in so many more ways than just NABJ.
Yes, I have to CC Jasmine on that one. Next, we'll hand it over to Rashonda.
Thank you guys again for this opportunity to speak with everybody today. I know everyone won't have an opportunity to vote for media-related representative, but I appreciate you listening to us talking, and I'm asking you to let the media-related people know that I would love the opportunity to serve them in a second term where I can bring quality programming. I can continue the work that I've done so that we can host a second media-related institute so that we can help to prepare and bring in new faces that can learn about the organization and help us as future leaders within the organization, and to work collaboratively with members that have been around for a long time and are in roles that we can support. I am thankful for the opportunity to speak with you guys today. And if you have any questions, I am an open book. I encourage you to reach out to me, Rashonda Hall, across all social media platforms. And thank you again.
Thank you, Rashonda. Next, we'll head over to Aaron.
You know, I've been a part of this region for a long time, as I mentioned, and one of the pieces of feedback I often get is we're often looked at as the step region. So I want to make sure that the Region 4 has good representation, that we're not forgotten about. I know most of the members are in other regions, and that's awesome, but there's a lot happening here. We have a lot of good membership here out west, and I'm just looking forward to being that middle person between the national board and what we're doing here. If there's anyone on the in the chat from Region 4, I don't take your vote for granted, even though I'm uncontested. So I look forward to your vote and seeing you in August.
Thanks, Aaron. And now we will hear from Eva.
Thank you, Kelsey. I'd like to start by saying I'm grateful for the 44. So very grateful for the 44 founders who founded this organization that turns 50 years old next year. I don't take that lightly. And my goal is to empower every single member of NABJ so that you know and understand the power that you individually have. Not just us as board members, but you as a member of this great organization that 44 members came together to found. It is something I don't take lightly, and I would appreciate your vote. Again, although I'm running uncontested, every election is important. Every vote matters, and I look forward to serving in this role as Vice President Print, and I'll be stomping hard for Print members, but for all the members. Thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Thanks so much, Eva. And in the spirit of Eva, thank you to everyone again for joining us tonight. Every voice matters. And so please, 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 we encourage you to vote. It was my pleasure and honor to be a moderator tonight. And I joined NABJ as a NABJ baby. And to now get to this point, it means a lot to me. And I truly feel confident that our organization is in amazing hands with all of the individuals tonight. And now I'm going to hand it over to Corey so we can get you all back to grilling or whatever you guys need to do before the 4th of July holiday.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kelsey. I definitely appreciate your time being the moderator. And thank you to our candidates for sharing your visions and plans with us tonight. Your insights and dedication to NABJ are truly inspiring. And thank you to our members, for sharing your questions and being a part of this conversation. Your engagement is very crucial, to the success of NABJ. So as we move forward, please remember to vote. Voting begins next Monday, and information will be shared to paid members in good standing from our third party ballot vendor. So for more information about the election process, please visit the NABJ website. Specifically the elections webpage. You can find more information about our candidates. So I hope you guys enjoy the holiday and have a great evening. And thank you again for being a part of this elections process.